training is a skill. There's a lot of skill in getting better at this stuff. And I think that's something that a lot of people overlook when they start to like compare themselves to other people, and they also jump from program to program looking for, the path that's going to like unlock their goals, right? So when you think about developing a skill in any sport, we understand that there's a tremendous amount of practice that needs to occur for somebody to get good, right? There's also a tremendous amount of intention to the skill that you are trying to perform better. And there's also just a certain amount of like things have to click for people. And the role of either a coach or a mentor is to try to help people make things click, right? There's also just a certain amount of the person having to figure out over and over again how to improve the skill that they are trying to get better at, right? So, when somebody's working on like their jump shot in basketball, there is always a component of understanding the task, right? Understanding what you're trying to perform, and then like actual performance of that thing, right? So there is a technical and almost cognitive aspect of the thing you're trying to get better at, but there's also a tremendous amount of feel that occurs. And I think these two things go back and forth over time. And that's what's really tricky for people, is they get really stuck in one or the other, right? For example, I'm playing tennis last night, and I hear people just really judge themselves for how they did something on the court, and that may or may not be productive. If you don't know how to make something better, or you don't know how to do something with the quote unquote technique that you're trying to achieve, then you're just judging yourself for something that you don't really understand. There's also a tremendous amount of just watching people who do things well, seeing how they do it, and then trying to get yourself to do the same thing, which is a really, really good way to learn. Like, that's pretty much how humans learn to move, right? And a lot of times when I'm practicing tennis, I notice that when I just allow myself to play and visualize maybe what I'm trying to do, like if I'm trying to hit something cross court, again, I'm not a great tennis player. If I just like visualize that as I'm about to do it, or, I kind of think through when I'm like set up for something, it goes so much better than me thinking about like technical aspects of it. Yes, do I need to know maybe how to position my feet, how to swing the racket? Sure. But there's also just components of feel that I have to relax and allow myself to do, right? So the same thing applies when someone's learning to squat or bench press or deadlift. They have to have some understanding of the task, right? They have to see it. They have to maybe understand what we're trying to do and what's working. But we also just need to get out of the way and let people practice with safe loads, right? With loads that aren't really like intimidating or scary. A lot of practice moving, and then we can improve and make the task harder and better, right? So just consider the fact that like you're trying to improve a skill, and getting two in your brain all the time, or thinking that there's an easy way to improve the skill, can hold you back. It also doesn't mean that you just need to constantly get more and more work in. Sometimes we do have to figure out how to make the work better, and that can come in a lot of different ways in training. That can come from exercise selection. It can come from decreasing the amount of work you're doing overall so that you can actually get good at stuff, because there's a lot of people going around with just tons and tons of fatigue that they don't manage well, who ultimately can't perform the way they want because they're so tired and beat up, right? So all of this is a skill that's both cognitive and feeling oriented. So don't forget that, and focus on just trying to get a little better over time. Peace.